Hey folks, it's Ben. I'm here with a finally it came in video. I've been having some, if you've been following the channel, some intermittent issues with the Grand Prix where it's just kind of been stalling, stuttering, things like that. Trying to track it down, changing this and that and what have you. I've changed the idle air control motor, the ignition control module. The only thing I haven't been able to change, crank sensor I changed, fuel pressure we've checked, was the mass airflow sensor. And because the other parts cars I have just don't have this style. So one way to diagnose that issue is to unplug it, because with the 3.8 liter, it can run one of two ways. It can run on the mass airflow sensor, or it can do speed density, which essentially is where it takes the engine RPM, and then over here we have the manifold air pressure sensor. It can actually use the RPM in that and actually run just fine without the mass airflow sensor. So if your car has issues where it kind of trips and stumbles and seems like it's going to die on you, you can unplug the mass airflow sensor and see if that goes away. It won't run as great, but it'll run pretty good, and if you lose your fault, then you've got it. And that's exactly what happened with me. I did the video on changing the crank sensor, still had the issue, so I'm like, I'm just gonna unplug the mass airflow sensor. It was running really bad at the time, and snap your fingers, it just ran great after that. So that was a clear indicator that the mass airflow sensor was bad, and so now I've got my replacement part in here. So the only catch with replacing the mass airflow sensor is it's got these security torque bits, and so this is actually it's a security T20, so it's got the little pin in the middle, so your tool will have to actually have a little hole in it to actually pop those in. Replacement is super easy, which is why this is a super short video. You just have to unscrew it. As long as you've got the right bit for it, you're winning. And of course, don't drop your screws either. So we've got that one out and this one out. It may or may not have one time had not anti-seize, but Loctite on those, but I've had this. This is the second mass airflow sensor this car has had. Now, I purchased mine online, just a little wiggle, out it comes. You can see some corrosion. I put a little anti-seize around it just to, when I did clean it. So here's my new one in the bag. This one is a brand new one. It's not remanufactured. Bought it online from a well-known auto retailer. And installation is simple. It has its own gasket again, but you do need to reuse your screws, so it's really just a matter of dropping this thing back in the hole, wiggle it in so the seal's good, and then putting the screws back in, and that's it. Prices range from about 40 bucks for an economy model, which you get what you pay for maybe, and all the way up to $200 for a General Motors model, which will definitely be 100% working. I went middle of the road with this one, so we're right around 80 bucks Canadian, so technically it's about 60 American for a rough conversion there. But that's it. This installation is that simple. So if you can find a parts car that has a sample one, you can also swap it to see if it's your issue. And then the car is off, so you just have to plug this in. Should be a click, but I guess not. Oh, there it is. Right on the bottom, so that's now secure. And that's it. So hopefully I'll let you guys know by the time I get this video posted. I'll have a note across the video saying, yeah, it worked, or no, it didn't. But that should line everything up. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Any comments, feel free to leave them. And subscribe to my channel, Turbo231, for more exciting videos. I don't know if I've got a decent time lapse for this, so I'll just leave it with a still picture of the motor.